International Peace Day is tonight. Our own Lex Radde is live from Intramural Field to tell us more.
President Biden made an executive order for residents in East Palestine, the federal agencies that are devoting efforts to the cleanup 7 months later.
Poland will no longer supply weapons to Ukraine. TV2's Dennis Farahani is in studio to give us the details.
How Taylor Swift fans are crashing the biggest search browsers. Find out how the Swifties continue to engage in the pop star's games. All these stories and more as TV2 News at 6 starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
Good evening, Portage County. Thank you so much for joining us on this Thursday evening. I'm Matt Corrali.
And I'm Sydney Brown.
We start tonight on campus as International Peace Day is underway.
Yes, our reporter Lex Radde is live to tell us more. Hi, Lex.
Hey guys, it's International Peace Day, and here at Kent State University, students are celebrating in a fun and active way. The International Peace Day is a worldwide recognized event. The website says that the Male Empowerment Network are dedicated to celebrating and bringing together Kent State students, both domestic and international, to come out and enjoy a day of stress-free events like soccer, kickball, dancing, and many more. The boys have been out here since 4 p.m. enjoying the nice weather and the quality bonding time. For TV2 News, this is Lex Radde.
How's it going, Portage County? I'm Michael Neenan, part-time weatherman, all-times weather enjoyer. Let's see what it's like out today because, as you can see currently in Kent, it is 78 degrees, but feels like 78. Okay, it's consistency. Dew point is at 55 degrees with wind traveling east to northeast at 6 miles per hour. The humidity is at 46%, and the visibility is at 10 miles. Now, let's see what the weather is like starting tonight and going into tomorrow morning. There's got to be a lot of clouds. It's going to dip into the 60s, even into the low 50s from 8 a.m. to midnight, all the way down to 8 a.m. It'll be pretty brisk, but thankfully no rain, so that's a win in my book. Now, for those of you in the back that were not listening, tonight and tomorrow, it will be around 54 degrees with some clouds. The wind will be traveling at east at 5 miles an hour, and the sun is setting at 7:24 p.m. Well, that's all I've got for now. Be sure to check in later as we see what the 7-day forecast looks like and check on the rest of Ohio. Stay tuned.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. A Hudson councilman has put his name into the running for the U.S. House of Representatives. Republican Chris Banweg announced today that he will go for Ohio's 13th district seat. Following the announcement earlier today, Greg Wheeler, an attorney from Copley, who was the other Republican who entered the race, said that he would withdraw from the running. Banweg has been on the Hudson City Council since 2021 and is a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps Reserve. He's on track to be promoted to a colonel in February.
Ohio report cards now reveal rising proficiency in English language arts and math. Learning gaps were predicted in the wake of the pandemic, but Ohio students are showing improvements to pre-pandemic levels. 60% of students scored proficiently in language arts, and 53% of students were proficient in math. But a goal for Ohio schools is consistent attendance. Last year, 1 in 4 Ohio students were chronically absent.
Keeping things in the state, Republicans introduced new House and Senate maps that was swiftly adopted as the full commission's working document. Republican Senator Rob McCauley would give the Republicans a 23-10 advantage in the Senate and a 62-37 advantage across the House. That's what he said would happen with these maps. Democratic House Minority Leader Allison Russo argues that the number wouldn't match the statewide voting preferences of Ohioans as required by voter-approved changes to curb partisan gerrymandering. Currently, Republicans hold nearly 79% of Senate seats and almost 68% of seats in the House.
Ohio is taking a new approach to preventing overdose. Governor Mike DeWine announced the extension of Project Dawn today through a partnership with the Ohio Department of Transportation. DAWN stands for Deaths Avoided by Naloxone, shown through life-saving naloxone kits. As the rest areas, the hope is to combat the opioid crisis with increased access to naloxone and reversing the deadly effects of illicit opioids with the kits available throughout the state.
Cindy Powell, who had been accused of stabbing and killing her mother 3 years ago, has been found guilty by a jury in the Summit County Court of Common Pleas. The 23-year-old Akron woman was found guilty on 2 counts of murder, felonious assault, and tampering with evidence. Powell stabbed her 50-year-old mother, Brenda Powell, 30 times with a steak knife and beat her with a cast iron skillet in March of 2020. Court TV reports that the jury deliberated for 9 hours and 23 minutes before the jury came out with the verdict.
President Biden is continuing to assist in the recovery efforts of East Palestine. In the executive order issued yesterday, Biden will protect residents impacted by the train derailment through various federal agencies. The order is an aim to continue cleanup efforts and provide residents with public health resources. Norfolk Southern recently released a statement about their commitment to helping all the recovery efforts and their promise to support the needs of the community moving forward.
The UAW strikes has hit the 1-week mark across the nation. TV2 News tells you the latest.
How a top coffee chain is under fire for the ingredients they use in their popular refresher drinks. Find out the latest on the case.
Welcome back. We now move into international updates, and Sydney, we now focus on the country of Ukraine.
That's right. Our own reporter, Dennis Farahani, has the latest on what's happening in Ukraine. Hi, Dennis.
Hi guys. President Vladimir Zelensky returned to Capitol Hill today for his second visit after an overnight strike from Russia as the country faces urgent aid from the U.S.
Of course, just a lot of people of America really support us. We supported from the first days of full-scale war and now together with us, and we spoke about everything, about support, about the situation on the battlefield, about our plans. I can't share with media all the details, but I think we had very strong dialogue with senators.
President Zelensky warned lawmakers that Ukraine would fall to Russia if the U.S. cut the military and financial aid that has helped them so far. Last year, Zelensky had faced a joint meeting of Congress with a packed House that showed full support. Today, he faced a new Speaker of the House who expressed his concerns about future war aid. The visit also comes amid a potential government shutdown, as lawmakers fight over funding on the domestic front.
Let's not forget, Russia is a problem for us, but China is our #1 foreign policy threat. #1.
American support for Ukraine is not charity. It's an investment in our own direct interests.
And I'm totally committed to support Ukraine until we win this war and help them win that war that they're willing to sacrifice their life for. So,
President Zelensky visited the White House as well, meeting with President Joe Biden today, who plans to announce an additional U.S. aid package to Ukraine. This will be the 4th package to be announced in 6 weeks. Ahead of President Zelensky's visit to D.C., early this morning, missile strikes hit cities in Ukraine from the east to west, killing at least 5 people and trapping others underneath rubble. CNN Amanda Sanson has all the details.
Ukraine attacked overnight, enduring a barrage of fresh missile strikes launched by Russia, some targeting energy facilities for the first time in months, underscoring the urgency of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's visit to Washington Thursday as he makes his case for more assistance.
Today I'm in Washington to strengthen our coalition to defend Ukrainian children, our families, our homes, freedom and democracy.
President Joe Biden unveiling a new package of military assistance in his meeting with Zelensky.
We supported just and lasting peace, one that respects Ukrainian sovereignty and its territorial integrity.
While the aid has bipartisan support in the Senate,
I'm totally committed to support Ukraine until we win this war.
It's an investment in our own direct interests.
the entreaty for relief comes amid a bitter government funding fight in the House, where Republicans are sharply divided on a number of issues, including Ukraine.
There's no money in the House right now for Ukraine.
House Speaker Kevin McCarthy refusing to pledge more funds as he faces a rebellion from GOP hardliners.
Is Zelensky elected to Congress? Is he our president? I don't think I have to commit anything.
The U.S. federal government is poised to shut down by the end of the month if Congress can't reach a budget deal, which could be detrimental to Ukraine's war efforts, disrupting the flow of financial and weapons assistance, as well as critical training for Ukrainian troops. The message and need, according to Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, is clear.
Mr. Zelensky said, if we don't get the aid, we will lose the war. That's a quote from him.
In Washington, I'm Amanda Sansoni.
One of Ukraine's closest and most vocal allies has now said it will stop sending arms to Kyiv. Poland has said that they will stop transferring weapons to Ukraine as they plan to modernize their own military. And this comes months after tensions over a temporary ban on Ukrainian grain imports to a number of European Union countries. Polish Prime Minister Mateusz Morawiecki says the decision would not affect NATO and U.S. weapon transfers through Poland. All of this comes shortly after President Zelensky denounced Russia as a terrorist state at the United Nations. Reporting for TV2, I'm Dennis Farahani.
All right, Dennis, thank you. Let's now go to our nation's capital as the House of Representatives failed to pass appropriations for the Department of Defense. The House failing to pass a rule has now happened just 11 times since 1995. For current Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, this is the third time this has occurred in his tenure. It happened to Newt Gingrich 6 times and twice to Dennis Hastert.
It's frustrating in the sense that I don't understand why anybody votes against bringing the idea and having the debate. And then you got all the amendments if you don't like the bill. This is a whole new concept of individuals that just want to burn the whole place down. It doesn't work. But I know it's an obstacle, but I find it as a challenge, and we're going to solve it.
Keeping things in D.C., in the case of a government shutdown, U.S. Representative Amelia Sykes introduced 2 pieces of legislation looking to support Americans and provide stability. One is called the Pay Our Military Act, and it will ensure that pay would be continued to those who are in the military, and the other being the Feed Our Families Act. This would ensure families who rely on supplemental nutrition assistance programs can continue to use their benefits for up to 3 months if a shutdown occurs. Representative Sykes also reiterated her calls for House Republicans to work towards a bipartisan solution to keep the government operational ahead of the upcoming fiscal year deadline.
United Auto Workers strike marks 1 week today. The UAW met with Stellantis today to try to reach a decision. Laura Geary has more.
On the picket line in Wayne, outside the plant where Ford builds its popular Bronco and Ranger models, striking workers are focused on better pay, benefits, eliminating tiers, and restoring pensions. At the same time, worker Justin McWhirter is thinking of the ripple effect on auto suppliers now making layoffs.
It's terrible for the economy. It just goes to show how much the big three connects in the outer umbrella, you know what I'm saying, of the economy, you could say.
In Southwest Detroit, where Bronco seats are made, we've confirmed 650 employees on temporary layoff at a joint venture between Land Manufacturing and Magna. Across the country, GM has announced 2,000 layoffs at Fairfax Assembly in Kansas City due to a parts shortage. And in Granite City, Illinois, U.S. Steel adding 350 more layoffs.
I would like to see obviously fair wages for everybody. I would say most of these employees probably live paycheck to paycheck, and I don't think that's fair.
All 3 car makers offered raises of roughly 20% and other counteroffers while pledging to negotiate in good faith. But nonetheless, come Friday, without more progress, the UAW has pledged to extend its stand-up strike. As gates remain locked here in Southwest Detroit, idle trailers collecting more dust as these workers in Wayne collect $500 a week in union strike pay.
If we have to strike more, close more, then we'll do that.
I would like to see us get back to work so those other suppliers get back to work and uplift this economy.
Well, Starbucks is in a little bit of hot water as they are currently facing a lawsuit as a claim is saying that the fruit in its refreshers are missing. Noam Kaminis of New York and Jason McAllister of California filed the claim in a consumer protection lawsuit against the chain, saying they didn't have mango, pineapple, or strawberry acai and wouldn't have paid top dollar for the drinks if they knew that was the case. Starbucks said the claim is inaccurate as the names refer to the flavors and not the ingredients. However, a federal judge disagreed and the case is moving forward.
Fox chairman Rupert Murdoch is stepping down as the head of the Fox media empire. Murdoch's son Lachlan will become the sole chairman of both the Fox Corporation and the News Corporation. The 92-year-old Murdoch announced to his employees that his daily engagement with news and ideas will remain a part of his life. Murdoch is leaving the role months after the Fox Corporation paid $787 million in defamation settlement with the Dominion voting systems.
Welcome back. It's about time we check out the weather across Ohio and see what days you'll need to wear a jacket over the next week. So starting things off in northeast Ohio, going from west to east. Sandusky is 74 degrees, Mansfield is 78, Worcester is 78 also. Up there in Cleveland, it is 76. Kent is currently 77, with Canton and Ashtabula and Youngstown all being in those late 70s. But let's zoom out a little. Let's see what it looks like across Ohio because, wow, I mean, look at that. We're having a really nice day today. So going from west to east, Lima is 81, Dayton 80, Cincinnati is 82, Columbus is 82, Athens is 80, and, well, northeast Ohio is in the 70s. Oh well. You know, I say we check out the 7-day forecast because, yeah, I would prefer it if it was a little less cloudy, but I digress because tomorrow it will be very sunny. That's good. It will be a high of 76 with a low of 50. Going into Saturday, it will be 71 with a low of 54, but we will see a lot of clouds over the weekends. And as we move into the weekdays, we will be seeing a lot of clouds. Monday will be 70, but it will get a little colder as the week on. And that about wraps it up for today. Be sure to visit KentWire.com for any updates on extreme weather in the area. I've been Michael Neenan, and let's get right back to the news.
I'll call you the best in the business for nothing. Thank you, sir. Mexican train operator Faramex has restarted some of its running trains after the service was suspended early yesterday. The reason why the train stopped was due to injuries to migrants that were climbing onto freights that were going from the southern part of the country to the U.S. border. The operator stopped about 60 trains, which fills up about 1,800 tractor trailers. This announcement comes as migrants are desperate to come to the American border.
Canadian citizens are suspended from coming to India over security threats. The action escalates the divide between both countries, with this suspension directed at 2 Canadian diplomats. The tension stems from the assassination of a Sikh separatist activist on Canadian soil. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau claims to have credible information linking India to the killing of the prominent Sikh leader, but the allegations continue spite India.
Iran's parliament has approved a hijab bill, and some harsh punishments could be coming if the rules within that bill aren't met. Women who don't wear their hijab properly and men who wear clothing that is lower than the chest or above the ankles can expect penalties to come, and the punishments will increase for those who repeat, with the maximum punishment being 10 years in prison. This comes days after the one-year anniversary of mass protests sparked by the death of Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old Iranian woman who died after being detained by the regime's mortality police for not abiding by the country's dress code.
In Western Asia, fears of a civil war are now averted. Dozens of deaths reported in breakaway region of the inside territory of Azerbaijan. This area is self-governed by ethnic Armenians. A recent skirmish erupted into full-fledged fighting on Tuesday when Azerbaijan's military launched attacks. The government describes an anti-terrorist operation. 2 children are among the dozens of people reported killed, but a truce is now in place between Nagorno and Karabakh.
When we return, we give you everything you need to know about Flash's Will Weekend.
The Guardians finished out a 3-game series against the Kansas City Royals. We'll tell you how Cleveland fared in this matchup later on.
Kent State Athletics and the University Women's Center is hosting its Flash's Will Weekend. Women's teams from volleyball, field hockey, and soccer are all hosting home events this weekend. In addition to supporting Kent's female athletics, there are 2 discussions about gender inequity in athletics. Those who attend the sessions will receive a Flash's Will t-shirt that can be picked up at any of those home events over the weekend.
Cleveland Cavaliers have unveiled plans to build a new training facility in the city. The target location is just off the Cuyahoga River downtown, and the team says the facility will be a top-notch landing place for athletes of numerous sports. This is built through a partnership with Cleveland Clinic and Bedrock, as the clinic says that this will help grow the sports medicine program here in Northeast Ohio. The Cavs currently train at Cleveland Clinic courts in nearby Independence. A lot of big sports news is happening, Sydney.
Absolutely. I love that this is happening in Cleveland, though. That's awesome.
Oh, no doubt about it. Well, to tell us more is our friend and sports anchor Dom O'Brien. Dom, good evening.
Good evening, Matt. Hello, friends, and welcome to your TV2 Sports Report. I'm Dom O'Brien, and we have a little mixture of college and professional sports to talk about, so let's get right into it. We're going to start off with volleyball. We move to the hardwood, where Kent State volleyball sophomore Mackenzie McGuire was named Mid-American Conference Female Scholar Athlete of the Week. This specific athletic award is given to a MAC male or female student athlete who has a cumulative grade point average of 3.0 or better and performs well in competition. McGuire averaged 3.11 kills per set to lead the Golden Flashes in a pair of matches last week. McGuire and the Golden Flashes will continue on to host Buffalo this weekend. We head over to field hockey. The Kent State field hockey team will face off against Ohio University for their second MAC matchup of the season. Last Friday, Kent State took the contest over Central Michigan and easily won with a score of 8-0. Following this, the Golden Flashes are ranked first in the MAC with 15 goals on the year. Meanwhile, Ohio University had a close loss against Ball State in their first MAC matchup, falling 2-1 in overtime. The Golden Flashes are looking to continue on their 10-game win streak against the Bobcats as they hold a 55-26-2 advantage all time. We're going to head on over to Kansas City. The Royals playing the Guardians, hosting them in this best-of-3 series. And, well, Kansas City getting off to a hot start with Nelson Velázquez, 3-run homer, running in Mikhail Garcia and Bobby Witt Jr. Next up, Andres Jimenez single, running in Josh Naylor from third base. But since then, the Royals just really kept going on. Bobby Witt Jr., an RBI single up to the right side, running in Drew Waters. They did not let up as they finished this one 6-3. Angel Serpa striking out Tyler Freeman. The Guardians now will begin their series against the Baltimore Orioles tonight at 7:15. Lastly, don't forget to tune in to Thursday Night Football tonight, where Daniel Jones and the New York Giants will head to Santa Clara to play Christian McCaffrey and the San Francisco 49ers. Kickoff begins at 8:15 p.m., and you'll be able to watch it on Prime Video. That's all we got for you tonight, but if you're looking for more sports coverage from us, be sure to follow us on all social media at TV2 KSU Sports. For more Portage County sports updates, this is Dom O'Brien signing off.
Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner's divorce is moving forward, but now Jonas is being sued by his wife over custody of their 2 daughters. What we know about the status of their high-profile relationship.
Well, if you haven't heard, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner have filed for divorce, but the Game of Thrones actress is looking to return her children to England. A petition cites a wrongful retention of their kids in New York City as the two agreed upon England making it their habitual home this past April. Jonas had been taking care of their 2 daughters while his band, the Jonas Brothers, is on tour, while Turner is working on a new series.
But Taylor Swift continues to consume the lives of her diehard fans. The Swifties crashed Google on Tuesday, trying to solve word puzzles ahead of her highly anticipated drop of 1989 Taylor's version. 89 puzzles helped reveal the titles of some previously unreleased tracks for fans to solve. With so many Swifties participating, 33 million puzzles were collectively solved, and 4 of the 5 vault tracks were announced. 1989 Taylor's version will be in style on October 27th.
All right, now here's the thing.
I
like Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
To not even know that this was a thing, the whole guessing of the songs. Did you take part in this?
I did try,
okay.
And I looked at it and I thought, you know, I know there's more qualified Swifties than I.
Okay.
I'm going to take that one from me. But
Gotcha.
I was very excited to see what the vault tracks were.
Yeah, I was going to say, with that and the Joe Jonas news, I mean, this is just a whole bunch of pop culture news that's been
very
going on.
much.
It's been crazy.
But did you notice, I don't know if you're involved in this at all, but
okay.
Taylor Swift and Sophie Turner were just seen out together. So this
really?
is very interesting.
That is very interesting
as they both been with Joe Jonas.
And Taylor dated Joe Jonas,
yes.
didn't she? Oh, man.
So the
Disney Channel
drama
romance.
thickens.
It's nothing quite like it. Nothing quite like it. All right, that's all the time we have for you tonight at 6. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, make sure to follow us on TV2 News on social media at Kent Wire to stay up to date with the latest. I'm Sydney Brown.
And I'm Matt Corrali. Have a great night, Portage County.